and here we are on my farm, Blossom Meadow Farm. And right now, figured I would give you a little bit of a tour. And right there, there's a fly, right? And you're thinking, what's she talking about? We're supposed to be talking about bees. Well, flies are pollinators too, and they're actually pretty good at it, especially when it's cold, because a lot of other pollinators are not flying at the time. Here is about a 1/4 acre of June-bearing strawberries. So in a few more weeks, you'll see some strawberries being sold on the side of the road outside of coffee pot sellers. So we specialize in growing strawberries, blueberries, red raspberries, and black raspberries, all for jam. And in order to help our true workforce, which are the pollinators, we grow great cover crops as well. So this right here is canola. It's a mixture of actually canola, crimson clover, and turnip. You can see the crimson clover blooming on the bottom. Bumbles love the clover. We actually plant this in the late fall, and then it blooms, as you see now, in the early spring. And then after this will finish blooming in probably another 2 weeks, we'll mow it down, till it under, and plant 2 rounds of buckwheat. And then in the fall, we plant this again. Canola is just a fantastic crop because not only does it nourish your soils, but it feeds your bees. So today it's pretty windy, but there are quite a few bees on it. We're actually walking right over to where my mason bees are right now. Mason bees are a native bee, whereas honeybees totally are not. They're invasive, non-native, and they're really bad ecologically, which we could talk a little bit about more later. But we planted the canola to be right next to the mason bees. So this is on the eastern side of our barn, and there are 450 different bee species in New York State, actually 4,000 nationwide, and 30% live in hollow plant stems, beetle tunnels of a dead tree, or even like a snail shell, anything that's the right size hole for them. Mason bees are in the megachilid family of bees. Let's see if there are any flying around. There they are. Mason bees are in the megachilid family of bees, which means that they are furry on their undersides, and so then they belly flap onto the flower and really grind the pollen in. They're really sweet creatures. They're solitary but gregarious, meaning they'll live next door to one another, but they don't talk. Let's see if we can get in here. It's so funny when you try to get a creature. They fly so quickly. Let's see if we can get some more over here. There's one that just went in there. So all of these are facing east-southeast, so they get the morning sun. If you look right here, right here, you'll see that there's one tube that is already filled with mud. So what happens is the female will, when it's 3 days of 50-degree or warmer temperatures, the males emerge from their cocoons first, and then 2 days up to 2 weeks later, the females emerge. They immediately mate, and then they the female then decides which tunnel is hers, and I'll actually stop this and go over that next.